Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hike 365 live show. You've probably seen this show before, so you know we're talking about hiking and the year 2019, and we're talking about the ongoing challenge. And you also know that we provide park travel content, and healthy lifestyle content. We do not provide travel for you, only for ourselves.
Hi, everybody. This is fun. So you can tell we're using StreamYard tonight. Hopefully by the duck up in the corner, whichever way he is. Anyway. Anyway, so yeah, and as Yankee says, this is not sponsored by Affleck.
Right.
Anyway, so we're using StreamYard, and we are Matt and Kay, and we're happy that you're here tonight. Tonight, our show is brought to you by our National Park Photography, and I did want to show you one of our newest photography or photos because it has gotten a ton of pictures a ton of views on our new website, and so that is right here. Matt took that picture. And it is of the Molten Barn in Grand Teton National Park. And as you can tell, the two Tetons are back there, but the clouds are obscuring them a bit. It had just rained, and it was very pretty. You want to tell me anything else about this?
Sure. So we stayed at Gros Ventre on our Gros Ventre campground in the Teton National Park, which is on sort of the south part of that area. And it is actually quite close to Moore Monroe. We stayed there 4 nights. And on one of the mornings, we got up after it rained and were able to capture this beautiful picture. Side note, whenever you think about photography, there's the morning, which has its special light, and the evening, which also has special light. So we were there last year, and we took a picture in the evening. But the sun was actually behind the barn last year because of just the whole planet rotating thing, so so the sun is behind the barn if you're there in the evening. But if you're there in the morning, it's actually a better photo opportunity in my mind because the barn is lit up, and this one we just happen to have all the clouds there as well. So if you're camping at Gros Ventre, you can go see the Tetons and Moore Monroe, and the best time is the morning to do that.
Yep, and you can find our this photo and many others at happytrailshiking.com/store. Matt, we've got a great room with us tonight. Thank you all for being here, and I'm still learning how to do all this stuff. So good evening to Life on the Trail, Lori Bryant, Panic Tea, Paranormal History, Quack Quack. Spirit Forest is here. Hello, it's good to see you. D90 as well. And that is all for right now. If you have not said hello in the chat, please be sure to do so. And we would be happy to welcome you to the chat. So tonight we are talking about our Hike 365 live. And I guess, yeah, that's all I had to say about that. It's your turn to talk again.
Okay. So, we've been live streaming now for probably a couple of years off and on based on schedule and which way the wind blows. And historically, we would talk about what we're drinking. And a lot of times it would be an IPA or, perhaps a rum and Coke. But I've been cutting back on alcohol a little bit here of late. So I'm having ice water tonight.
I have orange juice. It's yummy. I had the calories left over for it, so I'm excited about it. It's just regular old orange juice with vitamin D.
Oh, did they add some D?
Ooh, that's what they said.
They added D's in.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway.
All right.
So that's it. So if you all will share with us what you're drinking tonight, that would be awesome, and we would appreciate knowing what everybody else is having to drink. Let's see. So tonight we're going to do a throwback to one of our park travels from before we were YouTubing. I have some pictures to share with you and maybe a video clip that we randomly took when we were trying to learn how to use our cameras.
It's probably upside down.
No, it's not. Okay. I picked one of the good ones.
Oh, okay. It wasn't. I left the camera on for half an hour, and I don't know what happened.
Right? Yeah, I don't have. Here are my feet, and there's a rock, and well, there are some rocks, but it's all right. So, so stay tuned for that. And Panic D says drinking coffee and water, and Lori's got iced tea. That's awesome. And that's good. So yeah, we don't have a whole lot of alcohol in the chat either. So
wow, it's a dry room.
It is a dry room so far.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, yeah, it's all good. All right. So we should definitely. Ooh, D90 has coffee there. It's morning where you're at,
Ah,
where
yes,
they're at.
yes.
So that happens. We forget sometimes that we're global. So that's
We're
cool.
global. Yes.
All right. Anyway.
All right.
Oh, he's in rare form tonight. Oh, anyway.
I'm sober. That's the problem.
That's anyway. So, Matt is supposed to now say we should go over our stats for this week on the challenge.
Oh, you want to do the stats now? Okay, sure.
Well, we don't have to. We
Okay.
can
All right,
do
we'll do the
something
stats
else.
and then we'll do the pictures.
Well, we didn't have any picture. Nobody submitted any pictures this week for the Hike 365 challenge. So, maybe
We'll just talk about our pictures
We'll
more.
share our own pictures.
Yeah, so you're
for
stuck
a
with
little
our
while.
pictures.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, let's go ahead and
Anyway.
look at the spreadsheet then.
Okay, spreadsheet. I gotta share screen again.
All right.
And still learning, still sorry.
The duck software.
There you go.
Don't
There
let
we
us
are.
down, duck. Okay,
Okay.
and you can see us and the spreadsheet.
I know,
That's
isn't that
pretty spiffy.
fancy?
Yeah.
And if we really wanted to get fancy, we could go, we're on Hike 365 Live.
Oh yeah, we got the banner.
If
All
we
right.
had more than one person here, we could have our names up. Never mind.
All right, it's going to be informational overload.
That's enough.
So, here in the St. Louis area, it has been ridiculously hot over the weekend. And judging by the number of submissions, there may have been a significant amount of heat that everyone else was dealing with too. But we did get a few in. So thanks to everyone who did. And if you decided to stay cool this weekend, enjoy air conditioning, we certainly understand that.
Yeah, our 1 mile tells you that we decided to stay cool and enjoy the air conditioning.
So it looks like Cliff Reiser got out and did a little over 6 miles. Dana and Eileen did 3 miles. Gary Grimes clocked out about 16. Nice.
He's in Oregon.
Oh, okay. Well,
we'll show you the map.
Oregon's beautiful.
I'm
gonna have to get up there sometime.
It's like in the 70s there, he says.
Oh, well, that creates a bit of an advantage, but
yes.
Still, that's 16 miles. That's a nice distance. So Kay and I we went 1 mile, and we just kind of roamed around Brommelsick Park on the paved trails, and just didn't exert ourselves too much. So Outdoor Nomad did almost 12 miles. Tiff Outside did a little bit more than 12, and Vicky came in at 19. And so our mileage for this week is a little low, but that's all good. Everybody's being smart and staying cool in the
We're
heat.
supposed to get
about 70 miles for everybody.
Yeah, that's good. And I do have a map this week, so I can show you guys that. Gary is here from Life on the Trail. Congratulations on all your miles this week, Gary. And he says that he's drinking a Terminal Velocity Glacier Lily, which is a blonde ale from Enterprise, Oregon.
Blonde ale. That sounds like
cool.
a really good summer beer.
And Lori just said Outdoor Nomad has hit his 365. Yes, he has.
Oh, look at that.
We're going to have to do something for those folks who actually make the whole 365 miles. That would be good if we could do something for them. All right.
Maybe they can come on the show.
Yes. Steve, you're up. But congratulations to Steve. That's awesome. Hey, Marty Screw. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming. So I do have a map of this week's stuff. So let's see if I can get that up somewhere. I know I did it. There it is. And like I said, we are global. We have Gary up there in Oregon on the left side of the map over here.
Wow, he really did go all over Oregon.
He really did. He got a lot of space in. And then Steve's miles in Oklahoma. They can't see my arrow because I can't find the right tab. But anyway, Vicky and Cliff. So Vicky's over on the west side of Florida, and Cliff's over on the east side of Florida. And then our 1 mile up here in Missouri, and Beer Belly Travelers in Michigan, and this one up here in Toronto is Stuff Outside. So that's pretty cool.
Who's in South Carolina?
Oh, sorry, that's Bear. Journey of Bear is in South Carolina, and he works in the evenings on Sundays, so he always checks in with us on Monday mornings, and I love to hear from him. So,
Okay.
yeah, Steve got to 365. Isn't that awesome? Spirit Forest says this is awesome. I love this. Count me in the fall. Awesome. I will send you the information. I hope that you got my email. Did you know, Matt, that Spirit Force is going to be my very first guest when we come back in August for the health the Healthy Lifestyle Show.
Okay. Well,
Very
it should be
excited.
fun.
It should be a good time. I can't wait to hear about what she's been doing. I've enjoyed her videos. She's got several camps, outdoors camps going on this summer. So
Okay.
pretty cool. All right. So that was the map. I don't have any pictures. Did you announce the total miles? I probably already got
Well,
rid
it
of
was
that.
on screen. I don't know that I said it out loud.
It was.
But it was visible.
Yes, we're at like 3,100 miles. So
we're
that's
still
pretty good.
above 50% of target. Which,
That's pretty
which
great.
is
So great job, everybody. Thank you all. And like we've said before, we're just honored that people want us to know, what's going on and want to report in and report their miles. Justin and Christina are here. Hello, it's good to see you. They are RVers and healthy lifestyle folks as well. Christina does yoga and things.
Okay.
So anyway,
I eat yogurt sometimes.
not anymore. Not with your low cal. Well, you did it.
Well,
you did today.
I'm gonna eat what I got.
Okay.
Well,
I
might find some low carb yogurt.
I may have to have Christina on the show to show me how to do some yoga. That would be
Okay.
fun. But anyway, not this show. This is our
Hiking
park
show.
travel show. So yes, here we go. So the pictures that we have to show for you tonight, I didn't get trivia together. Matt was like, "Oh, trivia." Then we have to wait for answers. Which is true. But so we just wanted to show you, you've seen some of our stuff for from Bryce Canyon and from the Grand Canyon and things like that. And this is the very, very first time Matt and I ever got to see the Grand Canyon. And it was back in 2015. Do you remember?
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure you
remember.
will when you get to it. Okay, fine. We had planned to go to the South Rim and spend a whole bunch of time on the South Rim and then go to the North Rim of the Grand Canyon. And we changed our minds at the last minute and only stayed on the South Rim one day and then the North Rim 2 days. Number one, because it was cheaper. And number two, because it was less crowded on the North Rim. But this was our very, very first picture in the Grand Canyon. So, and I don't know how I got to be taller than you. I must be standing on something. But
Oh yeah, you're definitely standing on.
but this was our very, very first picture together at the Grand Canyon. And at the South Rim, you have lots of people who will be happy to take your picture, or who are standing around hoping that you'll take their picture and all that stuff. Hello, Gilbert Rod and Cowboy Jojo. It's good to see you. Yeah. So, yay. I'm glad everybody's doing well. I'm glad everybody's here. So that was one picture, and things with StreamYard are going to pop back and forth a little bit here. So, so we're going to get big, and then I have to show the next picture, and then so on and so forth. At least that's how I think this has to work. So, what are some of the things you remember about the South Rim, Matt?
Well, so the South Rim is 2 hours away from Las Vegas, and that makes it extremely easy to get to. So fly in, grab a car, and you can be there, with essentially within 3 hours of when your plane hits the ground. So it's more built up. It is slightly lower in elevation, but there is a lot. Oh, you perfect segue. I was going to say there's a lot of stuff just around the canyon itself. And this is a tower. I forget the name of it. Yeah, it's the watchtower.
Built by
one of the architects that was also responsible for some O'Keeffe. No, she was a painter. She was a painter. Not an architect.
She was in Santa Fe, but
you'll tell me and I'll be like, oh yeah,
yeah.
But there are some other things to do in Mary Coulter.
There you go.
So,
Ben's here.
but this is if you happen to be on the South Rim, you can actually walk into the structure and get a view of the canyon from the top of the structure.
And up here at the top, you get the 360. You can do a 360, see the whole entire canyon and the parking lot from the top there. But it's really neat, and it's got lots of Native American paintings and things.
Yeah, definitely Native American themed, and it really fits with the environment.
Yeah, so this is one of the things that I think that Panic D would really enjoy going, because on the video we have about this, this is where they say that they have the rock boys that move things around.
Yes, I don't know if that's the same structure or not, but
Oh, I think it is. Oh, it
but
might
there
be.
but there is a legend about rock boys that they're little spirits that guard structures. And apparently in one of the structures, the story goes that the rock boys will herd up the little sheep that they sell in the gift store in the evening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously we're telling a story told by someone else that's on some other random video, but it is very intriguing.
Okay. Yes, it's very cool. So that was one of the fun things that we did on the South Rim. Just checking in the chat. Ben on Adventures is here, and Justin and Christina say you guys have to do a workshop on how to organize your lives this well. It's very well done. Thank you. I was a teacher, and Matt was a professor for a time, and so we try to like know what's going on. But that's okay. Thank you.
I usually end up
appreciate it.
not knowing what's going on. I just turn what I'm told to.
Good job. I'm proud of you. Yeah, and I got my hair cut, so I'm pulling on it. I'm sorry. Life on the Trail says I was a teenager the last time I was in that tower. Yeah, we've only been once, and I was never there as a teenager, so not one of those things I got to do when I was a kid. So,
but if you've got a couple hours and you're in Vegas, it's definitely worth a trip up to the South Rim.
Yes, exactly.
If you got lots of time, the North Rim's higher elevation and cooler.
Okay, we'll get to North Rim pictures.
All right,
here we go. So North Rim pictures. We fell in love with the North Rim, and by the way, this is on the way to the North Rim, and I just love tunnels. It's a thing. And I try to take pictures of all the tunnels I can possibly take pictures. And now I try to take videos of all the pictures or tunnels we can possibly do. So that's just on the way to the North Rim from the South Rim. And then let's see what else. I got all sorts of things. North Rim. Gotta remember North Rim pictures. Oh, can anybody tell me the name of this little guy? It's a burro, and he was known for hiking the trails, being on the trail in the North Rim. Do you ever remember the name of him, Matt?
It's Bob.
It is not Bob the Burro.
I do know the name, but I don't want to give it away in case someone else gets it first.
Oh.
It's not Eeyore.
Yeah. It's not Eeyore. That's cool. And Cowboy Jojo says, amazing tunnel. What a feat that would have been to carve it out. Yes, it would have. Lori, it is not Chuck. Donkey the Burro would not be it either. You guys are doing great. Okay, so
it's Bridie.
It is Bridie the Burro, and you can tell that his nose is very worn down, and the brass is very worn because they say it's another myth legend to say that it's good luck to rub Bridie's nose, and he is in the Grand Canyon Lodge on the North Rim of the Grand Canyon, and it was just fun. Trekker has his picture with Bridie and all that stuff, so it was a fun time.
Yeah, and there is one of the things, a lot of places you go in a national park and there's lots of amenities, and some places you go there's not too many. So the South Rim, there's lots of infrastructure, lots of different restaurants, etc. On the North Rim, there's basically one spot. So it's the lodge. It's got great patios to look out over the canyon.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a dining hall, like a little sandwich shop. Mm-hmm. There's Roosevelt Bar. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's a bar named after
the Rough Riders
Saloon. That's it. And then that's about it. And we were there a couple years ago, and we stayed in cabins on the property just right next to that primary
That
hotel.
Wasn't the picture I was looking for, but that's okay.
That's a great picture, though.
Now, this one is at Cape Royal. So the North Rim is known for hiking. It's at higher elevation. And so this is our feet. The ones on the left are mine, if you can't tell. I have little bitty feet. And Matt does not have humongous feet, I promise. But anyway, so this is at Cape Royal, and we hiked out there. I don't know, it was a couple miles, I guess, but it was mostly flat, just rim walking. It was great. You walk through the Lodgepole Pines, and you look for the Kaibab squirrel, which is a black squirrel with a white tail, and you can see those in our most recent North Rim videos. But yeah, you get out there and there aren't any railings. You know how on the South Rim there's all these railings. You can't look over the edge. You can't. There's a railing. Here, no railing. You just sit there and your feet are there. And Gilbert Rod says, boots that blend with the scenery. Yes.
They do.
They
And that's
certainly
kind
do.
of funny. We started doing these types of pictures basically like whenever we first started hiking after we had some level of social media, but before we were YouTubers.
Mhm.
You know, in the summer, like all of our friends would post beach pictures. You know, they got
Beast
their
pictures.
beast pictures. Well, you know, every now and then they catch, you know, a killer rabbit or something. But you know, we thought, you know, these are great pictures. People with bare feet at the beach are just having a blast, but we don't go to the beach that often. So we should do the same thing. We'll just do it with hiking boots, you know, with mud all over them. Or
Yeah.
something. So we started doing that.
So we really did fall in love with the North Rim. I thought I had another picture.
Well, there's one there. That's it.
That one?
Yeah, but that's not the North Rim.
No, it's South Rim.
We're looking
Maybe.
at our screen at very
Sorry
small
about
pictures
that.
you
Yeah,
can't see.
very little small
All right,
pictures.
well, let's just show them something else.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what.
So from the North Rim, we decided to go and spend 2 nights at Bryce Canyon. And not expecting to, you know, it's just this little bitty national park. And okay, it was fine. Not expecting to fall in love with Bryce Canyon, but we did. We got there in the evening and we basically walked out to the rim to see this. And this is right at sunset. So we had eaten dinner, I think on the way, maybe. No, we'd eaten dinner in the lodge.
I don't know. It's been some years.
Some years. Yeah, like 4. But we walked out and there was a storm that had just passed. And then sunset came up over behind us to hit the rim. And we came out to that. And you can see a little rainbow. Oh, geez, I don't have the picture up. But you can see a little rainbow over the rim on the, well, my right side of the screen. Hopefully yours as well. Geez, I got lots of pictures here, but I can't find the right one.
So one of the things about Bryce is they call it a canyon, but it's not a canyon in the sense that it's been carved out by a river, you know, running through a channel. Technically it's called an amphitheater, but it still feels like a canyon, so that's what they called it. It's definitely, the time to see it is really super early in the morning or super early in the evening. And I guess the same could be said for lots of places at Grand Canyon too. But on this particular trip,
there it is.
We saw, because we stayed in one of the cabins on property,
which I don't have a picture of.
Which, by the way, the cabins at Bryce were absolutely fantastic. I love those cabins.
Yeah, me too.
You're just essentially, you know, 20 or 30 yards from the rim. So we could get up and very easily, you know, just throw clothes on and walk 20 yards, grab your camera, and you can be there when the sun comes up. And every morning and every evening, we were on the rim of the canyon. It was different every time.
I've got another one too.
Beautiful. Yeah, go ahead and switch it. New one.
Yeah, there's another beautiful one. And Marty's Crew says, "I love Bryce Canyon. We do too. I think it was the first first park that I cried when we were leaving. This picture, just in my mind, it's still epic. And you took this.
Okay.
He's like, okay. But the storm is just right overhead and the sun is so low that it looks like a night sky. And it just the contrast was phenomenal to me. You know, the contrast, just the reds and the whites, and I don't know. It was within minutes of the last picture that we showed. So anyway, Philip Crockram, if I didn't say hello, thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here. So then, all right. So we got there. We checked into our hotel. We ate dinner. We saw sunset, which was basically, you could just watch the colors change over the canyon, but we saw this full rainbow. It was gorgeous. I was like, Matt, we have to see sunrise. There's Sunrise Point here. We cannot not see sunrise. He was like, fine. Okay.
I'm one to sleep in, just in case that's
And
not well known.
if you the second or third video on our channel is a photo montage of the sunrise at Bryce Canyon, and it's just it's amazing. And it's just
Actually,
amazing.
if you want to get a sense of what that was like, you should watch the sunrise sunset video from Bryce. It really was spectacular.
It was
when we
really
were there.
fun. So I guess I like this picture because it's a silver lining picture, and Matt took it. I don't know that I had pulled up any amphitheater pictures. I can, but anyway, I liked the fact that it was a silver lining. We had lots of storms. We were there during monsoon season. Up until now, we've had to travel in the summers because I've been on an academic schedule. And this summer we traveled in the summer.
It's just the way it worked
Just
out.
the way
this
it
time.
worked out. We're planning to not do that next year, but that's the way that goes. So this is just a silver lining from the sunrise point. And I don't know that I have any other pictures. I've got to find at least one though. So you talk and tell more about our hike after this, because we did 12 miles this day, and that was probably the most miles that
Okay, where's the picture? Didn't you have a picture of just the hoodoos that I saw a minute ago?
This one.
Yeah, go ahead and show that one.
Okay, that's fine.
And you can hunt for the thing.
Okay, that's fine.
So
I'll go ahead and show this one then. This was the hike we were on.
So one of the things that we noticed at Bryce, like most of you have probably seen when you've been to a very popular national park, is that there are people everywhere. So we did have a couple mornings there, and we went to the visitor center, which is something that we always recommend that you do, and ask, okay, what are some hikes we can do where we can get into the canyon a little bit, see it, and get away from the crowds. And the concierge, or whatever her official title was, recommended 2 hikes. One of them is the hike that everyone does. So if you've ever seen a commercial documentary of Bryce Canyon, there's like a little 2 or 3 mile trail that's right from the visitor center.
Yeah.
And it really is a sort of the quintessential easy experience of the canyon. And so we did that little 2 mile trail, and that's where you see, a pine tree that's growing up, several hundred feet between 2 rocks. And it's a very,
I got
just
that one too.
growing up through the canyon, not driving through the canyon. Trees don't drive. So
you're right. They don't. Good
job. And there are, a lot of switchbacks, and, just really the classic trail that if you can hike at all, you have to do that when you're in Bryce. Yeah, go ahead and show that picture.
Okay, I will.
So Kay's going to show you the picture of the tree growing up through the rock.
Okay.
So, and actually it's a tree growing out of a tree too. I forgot about that
Yeah,
part.
they're two growing together. Bryce Canyon is so cool. Thank you, Philip.
But the other thing that we did was we took a much longer hike. And we're in pretty decent shape, obviously, for having a hiking channel, I suppose. Actually, as hikers, we're not that good a shape, but at any rate, we probably was that 11 miles or 13 miles?
We went 12.
Okay.
I mean, it was between 12.
And I believe it's called the Fairy Trail.
The Fairyland Trail.
Fairyland Trail.
That's exactly correct.
And that was totally worth doing. I would suggest that you start early. If you opt to do the Fairyland Trail. It just gets you away from the people and out into the canyon, because it is desert. Of course, you do need to take water. Anytime we're hiking in the desert, we carry 3 liters of water apiece.
This was the first time I'd hiked through a hailstorm.
Yeah. And so that picture there is somewhere on the Fairyland Trail. And, when you're out on the trail and it starts hailing, well, I mean, there's not much you can do. We chose to get under a tree. I don't know if that was the right choice or not, but that's what we did.
Justin and Christina want to know if we have a list of trails that allow dogs on our website. We don't. We don't have that list. I will be having a guest on Travel Tuesday on August 13th. Tanya will be here with Raising Your Pets Naturally, and she does some national park travel and some. She has a travel blog and talks about where you can travel with pets. But the only two national parks that allow pets that I know of right now are Shenandoah National Park and Acadia.
On trails.
On trails,
yeah.
yes. Pets are allowed in campgrounds and things like that at other national parks.
Yeah,
Please, I don't have a list though. I'm so sorry. Thank you
And
for asking.
we did camp 12 nights on our recent summer trip, and I think we saw dogs in every single park we were in.
Oh yeah. We
some national park and some state park.
Yes, yeah. There were the cutest dogs that we saw were in the Grovemont campground.
Okay. Well,
Just
we were there
saying.
the most nights.
We
so
were there
you
for
have the
4
best
nights
odds.
too. That's true. Totally true. Totally true. All right. So
Oh.
this picture is from the Fairyland Trail, and we'd left that morning after breakfast.
Well, no, that day, what we did was we got up.
Saw sunrise.
We saw sunrise.
And
We
then
did the
did a
little
loop.
3-mile loop.
That's right.
Then we had breakfast, and then we did the Fairyland Trail. So it ended up being however many miles it is, a 15, 16 mile day.
Totally, yeah. But we were like, okay, the concierge / ranger / park volunteer was telling us that, it could storm, just be sure. And we were like, we got our rain gear, we'll be fine. It hailed and thundered and lightninged.
Well, and that was one of those funny things where I thought I had the right gear and I didn't. Kay had all her rain gear, and I had a fleece, but I didn't have the appropriate rain gear. And as it turns out, it wasn't a problem. We did fine, but
we did.
Make sure you got the right gear.
It was fine. We survived. Cowboy Jojo says it's a pity you can't take your pets in national parks, but understands with protection of other things, of the other animals, yes, and of your own pets. I mean,
there would be danger to the
wild animals that want to eat things.
Yes, we've heard rumors of eagles picking up small dogs. That was something.
Never seen it.
Never seen it personally. Don't know for a fact that it's happened. But we did at one point in time hear from a somewhat credible source that this sort of thing can happen.
Yes. Yeah. So I was learning to take selfies on my phone because this was when that was a thing. And we look fantastic.
That may have been after we had been hiking all day.
We had seen no one. And I was like, hey, there's actually no one here. And so I decided to take that picture. And then you were like, no, really, take a picture of the real things that are out here. So the real things that are out there.
This is much better. You don't have us looking like we just went through a hailstorm.
Well, yeah, we did just go through.
We did just go through a hailstorm.
Anyway, yeah. So that was fun. I now say that I am the master of selfies, but it's really bad. But Yellowstone isn't a safe place for pets, Gary says.
And that is actually a very true statement. There is a book called Death in Yellowstone, and I think there are some other parks that have similar sorts of books.
Don't read them. No, I mean read them. They're great books.
Well, no, you should read them because it just brings home the fact that it's not an amusement park. It's a real natural environment. It's inherently dangerous. And so there's a story in the Death in Yellowstone book about a dog that, the owner lost control, got off the leash or whatever. And the dog ended up going into one of the hot springs and started cooking.
No.
And then someone jumped in after to try to save the dog. And that person also died.
Oh.
So especially in a place like Yellowstone, there's some very serious reasons why you don't want to have an animal out and about.
That's true. Okay. So I found the sunrise amphitheater picture. Can I show it now?
We should show that one. That's,
okay.
This is probably the grand finale for Bryce.
Yeah. This is the. If you guys haven't seen the Bryce Canyon stuff on our store, please check it out. It's one of Matt's favorites. It's the cup that he has. But this is sunrise in the amphitheater. So this is looking west, and this is when I learned to look west at sunrise, because sunrise you want to look at sunrise. Well, no, only at Acadia National Park is that a thing. Everywhere out west you look west during sunrise, and maybe Spirit Force can speak to that a little bit. She lives in Colorado, but this was just, the colors were so intense. Excuse me. They were just so intense and beautiful. And there's a little rainbow up here because we had some more rainstorms going across. And it was just, and everybody was quiet. That, do you want to talk about that?
Things. So, we walked out there actually while it was still mostly dark, and there's sort of the rock juts out into this amphitheater a little bit, and everyone is there with cameras. You might have a hard time getting a spot at the rail unless if you're a smidge late, which we were. But we were able to get a spot, and everyone was just sort of quiet in anticipation. And there were even, some kids, and they were just they seemed to be feeling the same way. So it was a really cool moment. And the sun comes up, and as the sun rises, then we're not showing the picture anymore. But as the sun comes up, you can just see the line going down the rock as the sun rises. And it just really is a spectacular moment.
Yeah, it's really good.
And that's okay. We can go on to the next one.
Okay. Well, that was, no. I have a video.
Okay.
Of sunrise. So let's see if I can share that. I don't know if this will let me do that or not.
See what happens.
Okay, we'll try.
I mean, if the computer blows up, it didn't work.
Okay, maybe that's it right there. Okay, so this is a video that Matt took at sunrise. And of course, it is a video, I promise.
It definitely is a video.
It's not out on Sunrise Point. It might have been like right after sunrise, but and of course we were not intending to ever share these videos with anyone. It wasn't necessarily a thing, but you can tell, this is where people stand for Sunrise Point, and right up here, not down there. Right
okay,
up here.
Yeah, up on top there, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we never intended to share that with anyone, but you can tell nobody's up there anymore. They're like, okay, show's over. We've already seen the more spectacular stuff. And here, I'll scoot. Oh, I can't scoot that back. Gotta grab the right thing. So you can tell the colors are still there, but they're not as bright and vivid as they were earlier. So anyway, it was an amazing thing. And like I said, it was one of those times that I cried when we left the national park. It happens more often now, but yeah, it's yeah.
All right, what's next?
Okay. They were sleepy, Lori says. Thank you. That it is a beautiful video, and that's the fun part about where we go, is that it's easy to take beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
In national parks.
Just get there at the right time and you can do it.
Yeah. I mean, even with the Mormon Row picture that you took last week.
We were just there at the right time.
We were just there at the right time. And
no skill required, believe me.
Well, no, Matt, there's some skill there too. And he did a nice job taking that picture. And we also did have to, you'll see it in our video. It'll be coming out here in the next week or so. But we got to Mormon Row. No one was there. I was like, yeah, time lapse. So I set up my time lapse, and then a family came up to take Christmas card pictures. It was funny and great, and it shows how busy that area is. So it'll be perfect for that. Okay, so
next picture.
Do you remember the place where we went we it was a fluke. We didn't plan to go there. The first place we've ever gone that I didn't plan to go. Kidding. We walked into the visitor center, and and said, okay, we're going back to Vegas tonight. We got a hotel in Vegas. We're going to stay there. And then we're flying back tomorrow to Missouri. And where do we have to go that we would know about? And they were like, well, you don't have time to do Zion. And I was like, well, we were at Zion last year. It's not necessarily on the plan. They went, you have to do
maybe Cedar Breaks.
Cedar Breaks National Monument. They're in the middle of their wildflower festival. And I went, oh, okay. Wildflowers. And then we got there. They have wildflowers. Lots of them. And they were beautiful.
So, so here's the thing about Cedar Breaks. So Bryce Canyon is definitely, if you think about hoodoos and you think about national parks, you think about Bryce Canyon. But Cedar Breaks is the cousin. It's the same geology. It's just not as well known. And it's not a national park. It's a national monument. It's even higher in elevation as well.
There it is.
And so I loved Cedar Breaks. It was absolutely amazing because there were so few people there. And the wildflowers you see here, that was just like at a picnic area. It wasn't even a trail.
No.
We pulled over. I mean, it was 40 degrees and all I had was a fleece. But or maybe it was 50. I don't know.
I was gonna say it was better than that.
But I was a little bit under layered for the weather because it's summer and we're staying in Vegas.
But these wildflowers were huge and just everywhere.
And we took a trail that was like a little 3-mile loop. It probably took us 3 hours to do the 3-mile loop.
That was the second time we were there.
Oh, was the second one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but the second time we were there, we took the wildflower trail, and it really is spectacular.
This is at the visitor center. That is just, you're looking down and you can see the little hoodoos down there. It's just like an amphitheater, and this is like it's 180.
It's on the backside, or it's some. I mean, it's the same.
And this
same
is a
geology.
phone picture, so sorry about that, but
well, that's still a really good picture. It really shows what's going on.
It's pretty good, I think. I don't know if that's gonna help. No, that's Vegas.
That's the
that won't help.
Vegas panorama.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm not sure. Did you take Cedar Breaks pictures?
Oh, I don't know.
On your phone? Yeah, I don't know.
There weren't that many pictures
that we loved Cedar Breaks enough that we had to go back again the second time we were there. I bet this is a movie of Cedar Breaks. Yes. Okay. So maybe I can share that.
Hopefully we didn't say anything stupid.
Okay. Well, if we say something stupid, I'm sorry. I'll mute it. I don't think we will. Lori says that's a bunch of wildflowers, and Philip Cochran. Wow, what a great shot. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, movie. That's this one. Hit play. There's only 32 seconds, and you usually tell me to be really quiet. So, but this is Cedar Breaks, and this is the lookout right behind the visitor center and the ranger station. Just amazing. You can see forever, and it's right near, what's the name of that? Cedar City? Is it Cedar City?
Yeah, it's near Cedar City, Utah.
Yeah. Just so pretty.
And you can tell here, we're just on this observation platform just behind the visitor center.
Yeah.
It's that easy to get to.
So it's one of those spots that everybody ought to go. So anyway, that was our vacation back in 2015. And yes, I appreciate everybody being here. I have had some questions with our new store, because I have switched platforms from Shopify to Fine Art America. And so I wanted to make things a little simpler. So on our happytrailshiking.com/store, you can find our, so there's it's right there. There's the address, and you can find now share that one. Are you looking for mugs? Click here, because I know a lot of people have bought mugs from us, and I appreciate all that. But just wanted to make sure that everybody knew how to find it. I knew my mom was having trouble, and we want to make sure it's easy enough for my mom to do it. So if you're looking for mugs, just click there. You can also click to get to our Fine Art America store, where you can look up metal prints and regular prints, and we've got wildlife photography link here and just national park photography here. And you can tell that is Bryce Canyon that you have been seeing tonight. So anything else to add from that, Matt?
No, I think it's time to wrap things up.
Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the show tonight, and we've been having a great time with you all, and wonderful job on all the miles that everybody's been getting in. I know it's been so hot out. I'm going to try to get a few miles this week with a friend of mine, and if Matt will let me count them, I will. And Alf got a bath today. That was the other thing that happened
Yeah,
here.
we washed off the dirt from 24 nights camping.
Yes. 24 nights?
Well, 12 on our trip and then 12 before that.
Yeah, we
Just
had
around
that.
Missouri.
Yeah, all right. And Lori's reminding everybody to hit that thumbs up if you haven't. And we appreciate that so, so much. And Gary finished his beer. So it sounds like a good time
Good
to wrap
timing.
things up. Hey, thanks everybody for being here. And until next week, we will see you later. Cheers.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks
and
for watching.
Cheers.
Cheers. Can't end broadcast if you lock the computer screen. So I got to keep talking to people. So no cheers yet.
Just kidding. That wasn't the end.
Hit end broadcast. Y'all have a great week. Thanks.